Hello friends, it's Armstrong here from Other Miniatures, and today we're gonna be working on this little guys, yeah? So what is the idea? You know, the big rig that I'm still working on, yeah? It have like two cars stuck on top of each other, so I want to do that with those ones, yeah? Something like that, yeah? Of course closer, so I think it's gonna look cool. It's I think that there was one like that in Mad Max, but to be honest, I watched it like 2 years ago and I have no recollection of exactly how all of the cars looked like. Yeah, but without further ado, let's just go on the table and start building, because you know, that's the time. I'm gonna be honest, my table is a mess, but you know, I already prepared the car, so I took one of those. I cut the front off using the big shears that I have. It was the easiest cut, and then I cut it under the angle in here. So now what I have to do is actually glue that window in, so it's not gonna be going anywhere. And that window I have to actually get rid of the front lip here as well, because it wasn't fitting anywhere. So now I have this, and of course I'm gonna cover probably the windows. I was thinking about putting the inside, so I already cut it to size as well. It's supposed to fit in here. Yep. So yeah, like I'm thinking about using that interior, but I'm very divided about that. Then we have this, which is the base, and I'm gonna have to use a part of it at least to cover up to here. What I'm thinking is getting my shears. We're gonna cut that base. I'm gonna be honest, I was thinking that those shears not gonna really get used too much, but my goodness, the diecast projects became so much easier with that. You can see it's definitely much better than the normal clippers, because you can get the bigger pieces cut to size. So yeah, that would be like that. Let me try to screw it together, and we're gonna see if that's gonna hold, because I would actually like to keep the interior, even I'm not 100% sure it's gonna be visible or not when I'm done, but it would be a nice touch if it actually stayed in. So let's try it. Let's try to keep it. We have that one screw, and let's screw it back here and see if that's gonna work. So the idea is to put it like that. Yeah, so have it double stack. The part of interior is actually keeping this up. I was thinking it's gonna be a little bit down, but that's actually better than I was expecting. Let's leave it as it is. So this, and then we're gonna put it like that. Yeah, there is very little contact points in here, so this entire build is fairly flimsy at this stage. And of course I'm already glued to the project. Alright, so you can see the side view of it, and then the front view have, you know, one normal car and the other one sitting on top of it, which is nice. It's a little bit back heavy, but not to the point where it is tipping. Well, we're probably gonna change that in a few minutes, but yeah, let's just give it a minute to dry, and I'm gonna be back with other parts. Because of this balance in the back, like I want to put a barrel in here, Yeah, so it's gonna even more disbalance the entire car. So I'm thinking about a frontal ram, and I want it to be as close to the ground as possible. So something like that. But those little plastics in here are, you know, preventing me. Oh, that's so much better. All right, let's glue it in place. That's gonna be the two pieces in here, and hopefully it is gonna hold, because there is no much else that's holding this. Oh, not really. Just over here, over the. And then we have the engine, you know, because this entire contraption gonna need something better to pull it. So I just grab one of the 3D printed engines that I have. Of course I need to clean the base because that's where the support was. I'm just gonna plop it in here, in the middle of that. Now, weapons, yeah, that's the problem for me. So I picked 3 different ones. So I picked this, and this. And then I started looking which one suits it best. You know, technically the big gun, you know, could be good because we can just put it in here. But no, this one still feels too big for this car for some reason. So I just pick up this, you know, minigun with the cracked chassis in here. Oh, come on. I'm dropping everything. And I just gonna plop it on the passenger side of the car. Yep. Now, for the barrel, I'm thinking, you know, closer to this, or maybe do it as a in here, just hanging on the back as a like a barrel drop. And I think that actually the hanging in the back is a better idea. So if they need to drop it, you know, when they are racing, it's a better weapon, I guess. So just do that. All right. It's weird now. It's a very weird build, and it's, you can see that it's spinning very easily, so definitely very back heavy. Yep, it can easily do the wheelie with this build. Now we're gonna have to do something about all of those gaps in here. But, you know, I'm actually surprisingly prepared, even though that wasn't prepared for this build. I have plenty of little bits of plastic art that I can just glue to the car, yeah? So I will cover this entire gaps in here with plastic art. Yep. So let's just smush it in. And this was prepared for, I don't know, I was working on something and just cut too many of them. I think it was actually for that bigger build that I'm working on. Let's maybe grab a knife because my fingers are already covered in super glue. Let's do the same on the other side. Okay. Now this window. Anything small? Not really. So I'm just gonna squeeze one of those. Alright, so that's the sides somewhat built up. I would actually maybe just grab another piece, just squeeze it in here. cat hair is everywhere. Right, I still feel like those are too big, so let's just try something smaller very quickly to make it in scale with the universe, I guess. Now I need to cover this little gap as well, so super glue. Let's try to do this. Oh, my finger is definitely stuck to this. And I can probably just put a couple of them in here as well to make a smoother transition. Yeah, not every Gaslands build have to be totally barbaric, although they should be. Alright, so there's going to be a lot of my fingerprints on this build. I'm thinking if I want to do the exhaust pipes, but it just kind of feels if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be just posing. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add two of those on each side just to show like a little scaffolding, maybe holding this all together. I think it is too long. Yep, it is about 3 minutes too long. Here, and them in here. So there we go, one side. I think we're just gonna do it donkey way. And we're just gonna glue it like that. Dry off, well, start to dry off. Oh, lovely. Everything just came apart. Yep. That's what I get for trying to skip steps. All right. I have this. This is from like a plastic crappy tractor. But I just have a feeling that surprisingly it's gonna kind of work, but Gaslands, nah. Why would they need the mirrors? Well, they probably will, but yeah. I'm thinking that that's gonna be pretty much it. I'm thinking about covering those wheel wells. And maybe the windows, but I can paint over it, and the insides, the window sides here. Oh, okay, it's still balanced. So let's actually cover those windows, because they're gonna bug me. So one big and one small, like that. Okay. Sorry about the cough. I'm still going through my chest infection. It's bothering me greatly, but what can we do? So I have 1, 2. Do I have any more of small bits like that? Well, not really, but we can make some. This is a bit thicker plastic card, but that's gonna just give us differentiation in what we are working on. Oh, of course, stock fingers. This is always the thing with me and working with the cars. I always get stuck to them. Okay, last view around it. I'm actually gonna leave those wheel wells. I'm gonna leave them as they are. Okay, so I'm gonna allow this to dry, and then we're gonna be back with the paint job. Like, I would love to keep that yellow paint job, but there is too much around it to just leave it, and I already messed it up. So yeah, be right back. For the color scheme in here, I chosen a metallic one, so we're just gonna go and dry brush this entire car. So what I want to do, I want to paint it in metallic, then make a stripe through the middle or maybe on the side in red, and that's gonna be entire paint job. The barrel, I think, gonna be yellow. Yeah, just because I think it's gonna look better this way. So now, circular motion, and of course windows, I'm gonna paint them either blue or maybe, gold. We'll see in a few seconds. Yeah, I'm still trying to decide on that, and of course a little bit of weathering. So you can see in here a spill of super glue. It gives an effect of some sort of a maybe weld, which wasn't done very well. And so everything on those, when you do the dry brushing, it really brings all of that out. Yeah, so if you make a lot of mistakes like me, you're gonna see them out on the surface because it's not gonna be forgiving. Yeah. But I really don't complain about that. It's a normal thing. So that's this. Now I just have to, either tape out a stripe or just freehand it. And I think that I'm just gonna freehand it in a few minutes after this dry. For the red stripe, I'm gonna be using the Slaughter Red from the Speed Paints Army Painter. And as you can see, I did make the stripe through the entire car. It was freehand, so it's not perfect, but close enough to what I need, and the color gonna show very well on it instead of very dark on the metallics. I'm actually feeling a little bit bolder when it comes to painting lately. Freehanding and stuff like that is not that challenging. It just, I wish my eyesight was better because I need the, the funky glasses for painting smaller details. But stuff like this, no glasses needed. And I'm happy about the results in most cases. Like in here, you can see that stripe, even though, like I said, freehand is not perfect, but it's acceptable. There we go. Starts looking decent. And of course we are going over all of the plates, and they're gonna be painted as well, because that stripe is just painted on top. Just, you know, I'm quiet because I need to keep focus, otherwise I'm gonna screw it up massively. There we go. And just up to the front. Oh, I forgot to paint the skull. I'm gonna get that in a few minutes. Well, the skull gonna need a repaint in white, and then we're gonna use some sort of a bleach bone color to help with it. And this piece in here, just in front of the window behind the engine, is the hardest one to get through to. But there you go, we have our red stripe. All right. Only two main colors to go. So the windows, all of those three windows, you're gonna be painting in Beowulf blue. Again, army painter, speed paints, you know. A nice blue color, you know, to reflect, to pretend it is reflecting the light, well, the sky. Okay, it's weird, just kind of feels odd when I'm applying it. It might be just me. Just instead of pulling like the speed paints tend to do, it's dragging, I would say. Let's leave it like that. Hopefully it's gonna dry properly. Maybe I don't apply enough of it. Okay, that's the first time that I have this kind of problem with the speed paint. Just alright, and of course the barrel gonna be yellow, but we need to let it dry. It's gonna be a couple of minutes. I hope that the blue is completely dry, because I want to do some dry brushing with the orange. I think that it actually turned out very well on that sign that I was doing on the diorama, and I want to just use the same technique, just, you know, a little bit of rust on the edges of the plates. In my opinion, it actually looks better than me overwhelming everything with the rust. And you know that I have no filter, so I tend to overdo stuff. Okay, and now I think that I used like an old battered brush. Yep, I found it. Sorry, testing the paints on my hand is always leaving a mess. And now I'm just gonna dab it in a couple of places to have this more distinct rusty color. A little bit more. Now it is just a game, you know, of trying to get this right without overdoing it. And I think that that's perfect weathering for this. Of course, I still have to paint that barrel yellow. Now let's paint that barrel with the Zelod yellow. It's kind of orangey looking when I apply it, but then it turns into very nice yellow anyway. So I'm not complaining. I'm almost out of the first battle, so I'm surprised how quickly that went. Well, but I did use a lot of it on the orcs. So there you go, that's the Zelod yellow painted. Not really rocket science. And we need to give it a couple of minutes to dry. But to be honest, I should have something sandy in here to finish those wheels. So I have bleached bone, and I think that it's nice and sandy. But do we have anything better? Crackstone, better in my opinion, for this particular thing. So I just dump a little bit of it. Of course, that's the thing with the Games Workshop paints and the drop hole bottles. Yeah, the pigment in them is too thick, and those paints don't want to go out. Yeah, you can see I did actually water down that paint before putting it into the bottle. I remember that very well, and still the same effect. So I'm just gonna actually grab my big dry brush, and I'm gonna apply the dirt using the dry brush. We're gonna dirty up the wheels, because that's pretty much the easiest way. And now just giving it a filter in here on the bottom of the dirt. Oh, I completely forgot that I painted with that yellow, so of course my finger is covered, but yep. And I think that we are pretty much done with the weathering. That skull just used the same crackstone color on it. I'm gonna probably come back with one more different bone color. So for the skull we're gonna use the paled bone. Yeah, it's a first time that I'm using this paint, so I'm actually curious how it's gonna turn out. Oh, it's actually a nice color. And now I think that that's it. We just need to wait for this to dry, and we're gonna go to the spin table. So here we go, the final product is done. It looks good to me. Yeah, the back heaviness is a little bit odd, but other than that, you know, it actually turned out quite well. I wasn't expecting a great effect, but it looks good, and the paint job isn't very complex and still turned out very, very well as well. So if you like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family, and whoever else is willing to watch it. And have a great day and take care. Bye bye.